important, but you want to do it the right way. So you've got some know-how, some things that we want to consider.
I got a few things.
A few things?
Well, the truth is, all across North America, we're facing periods of drought, hotter temperatures. We've got forest fires happening across the whole continent, right?
Yeah.
So we need to add more trees. And with ice storms and all the other winter elements that people are saying, oh, get rid of the trees, we're actually causing more of a problem. So we want to help out that situation.
Okay.
So planting a tree in your back or front yard this year is so important. But everybody gets it wrong. I love that. That's where, you know, I come in to save you.
Yeah.
So Tracy, I know that you're not really a tree expert.
Right.
Okay. But if you were to go to a garden center and I said, Tracy, which of these 4 trees that you see here is going to grow the biggest? What would you guess, just from your knowledge?
Which is going to grow the biggest? I would say either that one or that one.
Okay, so that's what most people do. What you should have done is, let me check the tag. And I'm going to answer it properly. The good news is you sort of got one of them right. This guy can get huge. It's a skyrocket juniper. But people look at it and go, oh, it's nice and small. And they think, in this space, it's going to be great in the front of my house. These are huge. Another big mistake that people do are blue spruce the same way. They think it looks nice and small at the garden center, going to get huge. This lilac tree, it's about as tall as it's going to get.
Oh, that's it.
It's done, yeah. This maple behind me, 60 feet.
Ooh.
It's going to be massive, but people think it's nice and cute, and they don't understand that the proportions of the tree here are not the proportions that they're going to be in your house. So they always make a mistake. So the most important tool that you have when you're shopping for your tree is your smartphone. Okay? Look up the tree full grown before you buy anything. Don't pick up the tree at the garden center like this and say, oh, it's perfect, it's cute. Because this little guy gets 40 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, so people get, oh, it's so cute, it's nice. It may take a while, but it's going to get big.
Yeah, and you should want that, though. I mean, I love the feeling of huge, mature trees. You know, it's going to take several generations to get there.
Yeah,
but it's nice if you can be part of that process in the right spot.
In the right spot. We don't want this in your front yard in front of your dining room window.
Right.
Okay? The other thing that you have to understand is before you start to dig a hole for a tree, there's some specific things you need to be looking for.
Okay.
The first thing is, how deep are the roots in the pot? People assume, well, this is the size of the pot, these are the size of the roots. You have to take your tree out of the pot, because here, it's not even half the size of the pot. This is the size of the hole that you need to dig.
Right.
Planting too deep or planting too shallow, one of the biggest mistakes that people make when planting trees.
That's going to be a huge problem if you do it too deep, even?
Too deep, absolutely. Especially if you're in a situation where you have clay soil, you drown the roots. Okay, so you want to be smart about it.
Okay.
The next component, and this is something else that people always get wrong, is when should I stake the tree? Now, have you heard this term before, staking your tree?
Well, yeah, to me it seems pretty obvious.
Well, what's the answer?
I don't know when you do it, but I mean, I have no idea.
So
but to stake a tree, that means you're putting a stake on it so it grows upright?
Right, and that's what people think.
Yeah.
But the truth is, that's a myth.
Oh.
That's a mistake.
Okay.
So when you're staking a tree and you're taking a tool like this, or actually a long pole, and you're taking a nice soft rope like this and you're tying up your tree, kind of like that.
Yeah.
When you're doing this, what you're doing is you're actually creating a buffer to help it in windy situations only.
All
okay,
right.
if the tree is blowing a lot in the wind, then absolutely you want to stake your tree. But if you don't have a windy situation, you don't want this at all. So just throw these away. Don't use them in your outdoor space, okay? Because
you don't need it.
You don't need it. What they do is they prevent the tree from creating something called a banter. The banter is the base of the tree that gets thicker. And that's what's going to support the tree in the ice storms and in the winter conditions that we have all across the continent, right? So you want that banter there because that's what's going to support the tree. If you put the stakes in and the tree begins to use the ropes that are holding it in place to protect it from the wind and normal conditions, it won't develop that thick collar around the base, and they're more likely to fall over.
Got it. Let it grow the way it's supposed to grow, unless you really need it. So you're in a windy situation and your tree's going to grow this way if you don't stake it.
And I know a lot of people in Chicago and in Alberta that have super windy situations. They need to stake the tree because it's going to fall over before it even develops the roots.
Got it.
I get it. That's the right way to do it, okay?
Yeah.
Another thing that you should be doing is you should fertilize your tree. Now this is the way that I like to fertilize.
Okay, what is this?
Stab this in the ground beside the tree. These are actual fertilizer pucks, okay?
Okay.
And they slowly dissolve in the ground. So they slowly release over time into the soil, and that's what I like better than a one shot in the ground and you're done.
Right.
This takes time, but it encourages the roots to grow. You're trying to get the tree to establish itself by growing those roots faster.
So you only do this once?
Once a year.
Once a year?
Yeah, and you can do a few around bigger trees and you're done.
That's great.
And it'll fertilize in feed your tree the whole summer long.
That is so cool.
The other thing, because we're in a situation where we have drought, and we know we have drought, I love this. This is a little skirt for your tree.
Look at that. It's just measured perfectly for your tree. So it comes in different sizes?
It does not.
It does not.
No. So I'm going to open this up and explain what this is. So
Okay.
actually, it's a little dusty inside because it's been sitting around my trees.
Yeah.
You fill this with water, okay? And you're
Okay.
going to mount it around your tree like this. Right? And it slowly releases the water over 8 hours. So it slowly drips into the roots. Instead of you standing there with a hose, making a big puddle around your tree and then walking away,
Yeah.
by filling one of these tree bags and letting the water drip in around the roots, you get a slower feed to the tree.
Yeah.
Much better. It can absorb more water, and you're not wasting water.
Okay, but where skirts are concerned, does it come in more fashionable colors?
No, unfortunately, it's all about the green,
But I'd
Tracy. It's
ask.
all about the green. So being
Listen, I
smart
love
about
it. I love the tips. Think about it because we want those trees to grow.